Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
You just made the list.
It's time! Ladies and gentlemen! Let's grind those gears.
Showtime.
Where's the lamb sauce? Raw! 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 Raw!
It's Grindsmania.
Yo, what's up, grinders? How's everybody doing? Come on in here to the Grindhouse. It's wrestling time. Let's go. We got to grind some gears. I thought I was going to make it out the week. I got some gears to grind. So hit that like button as you're coming on in here. Impromptu grinds my gears. But this is the way it's going to be. I got to talk about something. Shout out to everybody coming on in here. Buck Rogers, Neil, Jay Summers, Glorious Kev, what's up? Cooper Clips. We got some people from Australia. Who cares about nothing? Who's that? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Not me. Ryan, what's up? Akeem, how you doing? Gio knows, what's up? Do we get to win this time? I think he always tweets that out. I gotta hit him up.
Sir, do we get to win this
I don't
time?
know, Gio. I don't know. What's up, everybody? Coming on in here. If you're new, hit the like button, but also hit the subscribe button. We're over 2,000 subscribers and growing the Grindhouse. So hit that subscribe button. We got tons of members. Speaking about the VIPs, if you want to be a VIP, just like True Virgil, member for a month, he got a quote right here. He says his sources. You know, the sources in the Grindhouse are the two eyeballs that you guys
You just made the list.
Thank you, True Virgil. He says, my sources say that the PSVR2 sold less than Soulja Boy console. Suck it, ponies. Phil is king and looks great. Oh, baby. He's giving us the ponies. Make sure we love our Phil. Thank you, True Virgil. Member of a VIP member. If you want to be a VIP member like these fine people partying with Herman Holtz, True Virgil, you better watch your tone. You're going to be in there with Herman Holtz right now. He's partying. You know it's quality VIPs. Welcome, True Virgil, to the VIP Grindhouse. Watch your tone. Phil Spencer's in the back, though. He's in the back with Booster and Bootleg Joel. Bootleg Joel. I can't believe we saw a real Bootleg Joel. The PC version of Last of Us. Goddamn, Bootleg Joel exists. That's Bootleg Joel 2.0. Holy crap. But shout out to all the VIP grinders. The wall of VIPs. Herman Holtz going to a chiropractor to split for all the quality games that he's bringing and the quality VIP grinders that are in the Grindhouse. Shout out to everybody. Thank you for all your support. Use those emojis. Flex them like Maniolas and Jay Summers. We're going to be talking 3 C's. We got quality. We got media. It's wild. But shout out to the VIPs. Thank you again, everybody. Coming on in. Come on in. All right. Thank you for partying with Herman Holtz. And we'll get over here. Oh, baby. Herman, close it down, Herman. Boom. Oh, man, Buck Rogers called him Times Square Joel. Oh, Jesus. I only know about Times Square Spider-Man. Holy crap. But yes. So, as you can see from the thumbnail, we're going to get right into the nitty-gritty here. As you can see from the thumbnail, PSVR2. Right? You know I've been streaming it. I have it. I'm enjoying it. I think it's great. I have other friends that have it. They're loving it as well. The quality, the games, that's the biggest thing. The games that have come out for PSVR 2, insane. Creed comes out on April 4th. Can't wait. I was playing Saints and Sinners. Stream that. I beat Moss 1. I'm playing Moss 2. Horizon, Call of the Mountain. Dude, the games, there's a lot of games in there. Sync Riders, the music. Dude, there is a lot of games in there. I'm so surprised of how many games in such a short amount of time have launched with this console. If you want to call it a console, the PSVR 2, an accessory to the console. Yeah, I'm so, like, the games, the lineup is great. They have really brought a lot of great games. That's the most important thing. But I'm not here to convince you to go get a VR, because it's not for everybody.
You're my #1 customer.
Not everybody has the same experiences. You may, it is what it is. I'm not here to sell you on VR. But I'm saying that you cannot deny that is another platform to bring a whole set of games to, and it's an option. Remember the word option? Oh, it's an option. Phil also loves his options. It's an option for a console that's already producing console great games for a PSVR system, for the PlayStation system. So it's not like they abandoned their console and are focusing only on VR, and it's only VR, and your console games, your other games that are coming out are diminishing returns, not really great because they're focusing on VR. Dude, you're getting the best of both worlds. They're putting high-quality games in VR. You got high-quality games on the platform. There seems to be no compromises being made as of now. All right? Shout out to Twisted Snake with the 2. He says, no one should take Bloomberg seriously anymore. You bet your bottom dollar. Oh, man, I got some grinding. That's why I was delayed. I was doing my grinds research because that's what I do here. The receipts, oh, yeah, that's where we get them here. This is where it is. Because I use my sources, right eyeball, left eyeball. I don't need an analyst locked away in my basement.
You're my #1 customer.
I know, I see, I read, I see what I see, and I make the determinations as a consumer, as everybody here. just spending our money on things we enjoy. Yes, we got to spend our money on the needs of foods and care and all that other stuff, but there is a set that you could spend money on things that you like. You know? Whether it's a lot of money, whether it's a little money, that's up to you. That's why I'm saying it's a great price. Go get it. No. You do what you need to do. If you really like it, I think the biggest travesty of VR that I'm going to admit now before I get into the grind is that it's not available for everybody to try out in stores. That is the biggest travesty right now to PSVR2. The fact that you cannot walk into a Best Buy and try it, or walk into a GameStop and try it. I think that is a big problem. And I think that's something that they're probably going to work on later in the year when they push. Because remember, we're in the middle of February, and now we're at the end of March. So it's not really prime time gaming season. It's not the holiday season. But I'm expecting they should have those demos in the store. If they don't, that's a problem. They should do that. Twisted Sig with the 2, thank you again. He goes, anything by Takahashi Moshuki is not reliable. You're goddamn right. It's not reliable. Guy is A1 clown. But you can't even walk in and buy it. And you don't want to know us? PS5 Blues, excellent name right there. You know what? The other problem, too, is that I hear people want to trade in like, hey, I got a PS4 Pro, or I got an Xbox, or I got something I want to trade in to offset the cost of a PSVR. They can't do that. Even though GameStop will give you a dollar bill and a slap on the cheeks for your hardware, at least it's something that you could go get a PlayStation with. And that's not there. Yeah, like, you know, there's this Quest 2, but I mean, and I know there's demos of VR, but one of the things is that I think for Sony to show this, they should have this in the stores. They should have it in retail. First of all, it's not even available on any website besides their own, which is another reason why, you know, it seems it's only going through them. But like the DualSense Edge, that was only purchasable due to PlayStation Direct, and it just eventually put it in stores over the last weeks or so. And the other problem is well, that's when I bought it. I bought it from Amazon. I didn't buy it from PlayStation Direct because I could do the no interest financing from Amazon. See, for financial reasons, you know, instead of just dropping $200 after I just got a VR2, I was like, you know what? Let's milk it out. Let's go get it from Amazon and do it. No, you can't. You can't, Glorious. You cannot walk into Best Buy, Amazon, Target, Walmart. They are not even there for sale. It's only on PlayStation Direct. I know. Only get them from Sony. They're very, very. I don't know why. But that's why I said here, and I've said it before, I feel like this was a soft launch of the PSVR 2. Get it out there. Try to make it right through PlayStation Direct. Get it out to the immediate people, the early adopters. Get them the games. That's why I'm surprised that they have such a huge lineup of games for such a low profile of sales, right? That's the thing. Like, such a low profile. This thing is not everywhere, but they have tons of games, which that's great. I'm not complaining about that. But what happened was, leading into this, is that apparently Takahashi, Bloomberg, a wonderful source there, says his analyst says that he anticipates. Let's see here. He anticipates. Oh, I'll make this a little bigger here. That thing shouldn't be so big there. Oh, there we go. So he says that the analyst, Ferragamo, what do we call him? Ferragamo, whatever the hell his name is, expects, the European analyst expects sales. He didn't say, I got the sales numbers. He didn't say, hey, I got it. Because we know we don't need, when we come to PlayStation and Sony, you don't need to guess where they're at. All right? You don't need to guess because they're going to tell you where they're at with sales. All right? You don't need to guess. They'll do their financials and they'll roll it in and say whatever it is. But here you go. He expects the sales to be 270,000 units by the end of March. And you know the 3Cs in the chat. All of a sudden, the sales, it sold 270 units. It's doomed. I told you no one wants VR. I told you no one wants VR. Oh, man, it was all over the place. All over. See? 270, that's it? Dude, the thing released on February 19th. We're talking about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. This guy's expecting by the end of March. He's right today, yesterday. Talking about a month. He expects. You don't have the sales. He expects it. Well, Takahashi reports it on Bloomberg, but of course you got to pay to read the rest of the article, so we'll just make a hot headline, right? Well, I saw all of a sudden the experts come out. PSVR2 doomed. It's over. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. They were all over the place. I told you VR is not, nobody wants VR. I told you. I told you nobody wants it. Xbox was smart not to focus on VR. Nobody wants it. Just ignore all the people sharing screenshots that the same people you follow all over the place playing this thing. Nobody wants it. Right? All over. I got all the... Wait, where are they all? Nobody wants it. Where we go? We got... And again... I told you. Podcast. Nobody wants VR. Nobody wants it. He expects 270,000 sales in less than a month. It's doomed. You know what? Let's see. Let's go to the tapes. Here is IGN. You know, good old IGN here. PSVR2 reportedly off to an underwhelming start. An expert expects a price cut. Dude, so it's not even the expected sales. He's like, it needs a price cut in order to in order to avoid being a complete disaster. It is available in one place. You were expecting millions in 4 weeks? Analyst? You're an analyst. Analyst. How much they pay you? What's your salary? Analyst. Open up, analyst. Analyst. Excuse me. Pick up the phone. Analyst. You're an analyst, right? That's your job. That's your job, analyst, right? That's your job. Not answering the phone. Open. Analyst. Let me see.
Whatever your name is, get ready for the big surprise.
What's up, Elms? Welcome to the Grindhouse. Thank you for subscribing. Analyst. In your analysis, did you review where the product was sold at, analyst? You're in Europe. Was it in your retail? Analyst. In your analysis of sales. I am assuming as an analyst, you measure supply versus demand or where it's accessible and in your analysis. Analyst. Anybody home? I'm assuming you see where this is bought. Okay? And then demanding they need to price drop this thing. Everybody pocket watching. You want to see what this guy did? We're going to see what this analyst says. This analyst, where's his tweet? I think I have his tweet. Here it is. Let's look at Ferran Francisco. Let's look at this. Where analysts, tell me your job. Let's see. I think you should get a job in the goddamn circus because I need to see what he's saying here. Here it is, analyst. Here it is, analyst. There it is. Excuse me, what was this? Consumers around the world are facing rising cost of living, rising interest rates, and rising layoffs. VR headsets are not the top of the mind for most consumers in this economic climate.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
Go!
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Keep firing, assholes!
Listen, Miss Universe, I'm gonna call you because I feel like these people are world peace. Oh, dude, they're not buying anything. If that's the concern, they ain't buying shit in electronics. All right, analyst. I'm gonna give you a grinds analyst. All right. If that's the problem, rising cost of living, rising interest rates, and rising layoffs, they're not buying the phone that you're looking at this tweet on, bitch. That's the least of their problems. They ain't not VR. They ain't buying nothing else. TVs, headphones, because those are life problems. Those other things are not. So I don't know why VR is like, people are the cost of living. Nobody's buying VR. VR. They're not even buying the PC that runs the VR. What are you talking about? Or the TV to play the VR on. They're not buying any of that stuff. If that's the problem, they're fighting to fight. They're fighting for their lives. They're living. They're just like the PlayStation was fighting gravity. They're fighting for their lives.
Help the PlayStation 5 fight gravity. Please trust this. Xbox fool, I said gravity is the enemy. Feel safe, us from this liquid metal.
Nobody wants VR because they're fighting for their lives out there. Really? What an analyst. They're fighting for their lives. So because they're fighting for their lives out there, everybody, cost of living and people, nobody's buying anything then, dude. If that's what you're fighting for, don't buy VR. Hell, don't buy a phone. Don't buy a PC. Don't rent movies. Don't go to the movies. Don't do shit because you got to get 2 jobs and you got to get your ass together. All right? I don't know why VR is like, nobody's thinking about VR when they're trying to survive. Dude, they ain't thinking about any of this shit. What are you talking about? What? What are you talking about? People losing their jobs. They're like, the first thing they do when they get laid off is like, you know what? I'm not buying that VR. I just got laid off. Dude, they're looking for food. They're looking for a job. What are you talking about? You think those 7,000 people at Microsoft got laid off? They're walking out the door going, oh, damn it, I'm not getting a VR2. Damn. You think that's what they're worried about? Seriously? Analyst. That's what they're thinking about? I just got laid off. You know what? I can't buy my PSVR. What? The hell are we? What are we doing here? The hell's wrong with you?
And if you believe that, you also believe there are Richard Simmons Jr.'s running around.
Well, let's do something about it, analyst. Let's get Takahashi's ass on this one. All right, Takahashi comes out here and he goes, well, he's expecting sales. Yeah, exactly. I just got laid off. Dude. I can't buy games. Dude, that's not the first thing you think about when you get laid off. Shit. Like, come on. So Takahashi comes in here, and now this ain't a price cut. Okay, wait a second. If you're fighting for your life, facing rising costs of living and interest rates and layoffs, you're fighting for your life. If Sony takes a couple of $100 off the VR, now everything's fixed. Sony just takes a $200 off the top. Oh, now it's $400 for VR. All of a sudden, your life problems are solved. Oh, that was a ruse. I didn't get laid off. That was a ruse. I just wanted an excuse. No. I could have put food on the table, but Sony took $200 off the PlayStation VR. All my problems are solved now. Now Sony, they lowered the price. Oh, they took $300 off. That's it. We can eat now, everybody. They saved us. $600, $500, no. $300, our problems are solved. I could work again. Let's go. Tiny Tim, get in here. You could eat the filet mignons that I bought last night. Sony took $200 off the VR. Now we can eat. Everybody, we're fine. Don't get scared. We're good. We don't... Calm down. No, we don't. No. We're good now. We're good now. Sony lowered the price. Calm down. Sony took $200. It's solved. World peace. Everybody can eat. The interest rates are fine. We're all good now because Sony took off a couple of $100. We're good now. Tiny Tim, get in here. You can eat now. You don't have to sit in the corner. That's what these experts and analysts are saying. People are fighting for their lives because of VR. Nobody wants a VR. I'm getting laid off. But if Sony just drops the price, all of a sudden I got work again. I'm fixed. You clown ass sons of bitches. What the hell's wrong with you? And then Teen Takahashi, whatever his name is, comes in here and turns the whole thing from Francisco. Took Francisco, and he takes Francisco's expectations, the analyst, going like, yeah. So by the end of March, it's going to be 270,000. So I anticipate 270,000 sales of the PSVR. People are fighting for their lives out there, getting laid off. They can't afford PSVR, but if Sony drops the price a couple hundred, then they're not getting laid off. Interest rate, everybody's fine now. World peace. We're good. So he takes that analyst's mumbo jumbo and turns it into Sony's headset off to a slow start. Step right up to circle number 1 with Takahashi over there. He is blowing fire out of his ass and also playing with the lions in the lion tamer cage. He will be also putting the red nose on and honking it around for all the wonderful children in the crowd because he is our A1, grade 1 clown of the year. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You go visit Mr. Bonzo the Clown, Takahashi. He is in the corner signing autographs, putting a little makeup on their faces, drawing little character arts. He'll give you a little tattoo if you want. Temporary, of course. Step right up. Clown A, grade 1, clown of the year. Thank you very much. He'll be here all day and all year because he is constantly failing. Because, yeah, I'll show you why he got a job here at the Clown University. Yeah, let's explore Mr. Takahashi's track record and his bozo-ness here. So I don't know how he turns that into. This analyst, he says it's off to a slow start. Dude, it's an analyst prediction of what they're going to hit at the end of March because people are fighting for their lives. And again, I'm not here to mock that there are layoffs, there are increased rising rates of all that other stuff. I'm not here to mock that. But if that is the problem, then gaming will be the bottom of that list. And nonetheless, VR, forget about that. You shouldn't be talking about games. You shouldn't even be here right now. You should be out working. Okay? What's up, Thrash? So, technically, you're sitting here. This clown turns it into official sales off to a slow start, he says. Bozo himself. Well, let's look at Bozo's track record. Let's see how he went to Clown University and got his degree here. Let's see. Before I go back to his Clown University, Guapzilla with the 5, thank you very much. He goes, PSVR2 is selling faster than PSVR1. And there are only 33 million PS5s compared to 100 million PS4s when PSVR1 launched. Why didn't the analysts analyze that?
You're my #1 customer.
Well, you know what? Actually, Guapzilla, you have a great transition, and great minds think alike, Grinders, right now. Grinders think alike. You bet your ass I had that article right up there, Guapzilla. Let's look at the PlayStation VR1. Before we get into Bozo's history, let's look at PSVR1 sales. Ooh, analysts. Analysts! Where are you, analysts? Hey, get in here! Analysts. Let's see. Because Sony don't hide numbers. Sony tells you numbers, right? Sony got your number right here. Now remember, just to add what Guapzilla was saying, PSVR1 was released during the holiday. It was released during the holiday season. All right? So you're talking about November, December, or the holidays. This thing was dropped in the middle of February. Keep that in mind. Still, the first 4 months ending in February, Sony sold 915,000 PSVR1s, analysts. And actually, going back to that, Sony, by the end of 2016, when it launched in November, sold 700,000 units. How's that 270 sound right now in the middle of February? 700,000 in the holiday season with more PlayStations out there, PS4 and PS4 Pro. They sold 700 units of this. And oh, it's so much more expensive. Dude, $50. $50 in 2016 versus $50 in 2023. It went from 500 to 550. All right? In what, 7 years? So tell me it's so much more money than the first one, analysts. Okay. Yes, and Lurker, yes, that is the guy who couldn't jump in Cuphead. Yes. Oh man. That was his intro. That was his intro to Clown University. Now, Super Data revealed that 375 units were sold during the Q1 in 2017. So that's January, February, March. So that is January, February, and March. 375 were sold. Uh-huh. And that's when VR was supposedly niche. There was a strap to your phone to your face type VR. All right? No Meta Quests for a couple of years. So how those numbers, if those numbers are even real, they're not real because the guy expects them to hit 270 by the end of March. He expected them due to people fighting for their lives with interest rates and the high price point. But everybody says it's a slow start, and it caused a wave of Xbox fans particularly saying nobody wants VR. Really? But let's see the origins of Clown University here. The same dude wrote an article. There he is. Let's get the background music, please. Let's go back to Mr. Takahashi's resume of Clown University. Here he wrote in January 30th, 2023, he said that Sony slashes the PSVR2 headset output after pre-orders disappoint. But just to be followed up with, Sony says wrong. Sony tells him that he could go take his analyst and put it in the anal section of his body. He basically goes, following the Bloomberg report, Sony stated they have told supply partners to prepare for a reduction in panels. That's what he said first. Oh. Sony has refuted the claim in a new statement, saying the publication reports that PlayStation says it has not cut productions for its upcoming VR headset, touching on Bloomberg's false report. PlayStation told GameIndustry.biz it's seeing enthusiasm from PlayStation fans for the upcoming launch and has more than 30 titles, such as Gran Turismo 7, Horizon, and Call of the Mountain. Bloomberg is wrong. Where's my... Do I have the buzzer? Where's my... Oh, sorry. But we are not done there with his resume. We are not done, grinders. Hit that like button because we are going to go back again. And here he comes again. P.S. Sony reduces the PS5 production by 4 million units. Sony won't be making PlayStation 5 units as anticipated thanks to the production troubles, according to Bloomberg Japan article by our good friend, clown number one, Takahashi. And cited by Daniel Ahmad, who has blocked everybody on Twitter, sus over there, Sony has revised its production estimates for the current fiscal year. Down to 11 million units, dropped 4 million from the previous one. Oh man, dropping units. Takahashi, I think you should get some new analysts and new resources. Sony says the rumors are false. Yet again. Dude, how we are 3 for 3? We are 2 for 2. 2 for 2. Ladies and gentlemen, tell Takahashi what he's won. Yeah. And here we go. Shit repeats itself. A new report from Bloomberg that says the PlayStation 5 production may not be going smoothly. And they dropped 4 million units of production. Update. Sony has denied the rumors of trouble with the PS5 in a statement sent to Games Industry. The Japanese giant said, while we do not release details related to manufacturing, the information provided by Bloomberg is false. We have not changed the production for the PS5 since the start of mass production. How many times are we going to do this, Mr. Takahashi? How many times are we going to do this? You're doing it again. Well, this time it's not production code. Now you got your analyst, Fernando, taking care of this stuff. Well, there you go. There's his resume to Clown University. So he is going to be here for a while. But what I find is very interesting is that this spawned a wave of sales analysts, of people that came out of the woodwork who said NPD don't matter. It's not about sales. It's not about consoles. It's not about anything. It's about Phil Spencer. Those people turned into analysts. All of a sudden, they're sales experts telling us that VR is dead. And it's led by none the less of the king, the Messiah, Mr. A1 Phil Ness himself, Bootleg Jez. Bootleg comes out of the woodwork. Here he goes. Dude, I'm telling you, in the search for W's, all you're going to get are L's because this is not going to age well. When Sony starts announcing that they sold 1 million units by the end of the year, 2 million or whatever like that, yeah, you better take this shit down, dude. But here you go. These reported VR2 sales. Did you read the article, Mr. Bootleg? How did these turn into sales numbers? It was an analyst who didn't analyze, said he expects 270,000 sales by the end of March because people are fighting for their lives with interest rates and it's too much money. And I don't know in his analyzations that he did not look and say, hey, this thing's only available on the PlayStation Store, not everywhere. So it's not even sellable or available to mass market. And we are talking 270? When you saw what PS1 sold VR? Okay. But that's what the analyst said. Then Takahashi says, slow start. And Bootleg comes in here going, the reported sales figures. Mr. Sales? Hold on, Mr. Sales? Are we really talking about sales on Windows Central? Are we? I need to know. Are we really talking about sales on Windows Central? From the gaming part of Windows Central. Are we really talking about sales? We're not talking about year over year minus 17% in hardware sales? No. Are we really talking about sales? I just want to make sure that this is the place I should go to when I want to see sales. I'm going to go to Windows Central because they're basically the next-gen VG charts. I need to know because this is where I'm going to go now. If this is where they are a bunch of sales analysts over here, because I need to know that this is where I'm going to get all my sales news when I go to E-Trade and figure out where I make all my investments. Because Windows Central is an expert in sales and knowledge about sales because they report all the sales. They know all of Microsoft's numbers, all their sales numbers, their successes, their quarterly earnings, right? I need to know. This is basically, I should come here, right? Okay, I want to make sure because next time I see sales, I'm going to come to Windows Central and see how everything's doing because I got a little bit of research myself, Mr. Times Square. So apparently now the PlayStation VR2 is failed. It's done. Wrap it up. Shut it down. VR2 is out. It's gone. Goodbye. VR2's gone. Windows Central says the PlayStation VR2 is dead. Let me repeat that again for everybody. Windows Central is telling you that Sony's PlayStation VR2 is dead. And Xbox was right to skip VR, okay? Does this sound anything like that? Windows Central, not Sony Central, not Japan Central, not Gaming Japanese Central, not Gaming Central. Windows Central is telling you that Windows was smart for not doing VR because Sony's VR2 is dead. I'll let that simmer a little bit while you listen to it soon. Windows Central, again, Windows Central, just to put it out there. I'm going to give you a little tune to listen to while you lament it. You figure this out. Like, well, wait a second. Windows is about sales. Windows Central's about sales. They're telling me about Windows Central's telling me Sony's VR2 is dead. I'm gonna give you a little thinking music here while you just lament on that thing.
Wait, just wait till E3 there will be a showcase, but I can't wait when all our games need help. Bootleg Studios helping with Perfect Dark.
Okay. I'm gonna drop a little. We need a little flute. We need a little flute here. I think that will get the brain cells going right now. Let's go. We need a little flute here. You know, the Windows Central theme song right now. We need a little bit of that. Now let me go and watch this sales analysis. Thank you. Thank you very much for the Windows Central theme song. So thank you, Windows Central, telling me that I can't go anywhere else for my research. I'm going to go right to Windows Central, and Bootleg Jez is going to tell me that PSVR2 is done, and Microsoft was right. Virtual reality seems to have virtual sales. Oh, damn. Did he just say that? Oh, boy. Is that his tagline, ladies and gentlemen? See, I know. See, this is the thing. That's why everybody in this chat, the Grindhouse, you know exactly what's going to happen. Ryan right here. Logitech feels about its sales. Ooh. Sneak peek. I'm excited about what I'm going to show you. And then Dave Rock going, funny thing is how they flex this into a W for Xbox. I told you, in the search for W's, all they get are L's. We're going to get some L's here. Virtual reality seems to... Okay, I'm going to bite my tongue here. Bite my tongue for a little bit here. Here's the ass grabbing. Here's our guy, ass grabbing number one. He's gone. No, this guy is ass grabbing. He was grabbing ass in HoloLens. They fired him. There's the ass grabbers right there. Right? This is because Microsoft had no goddamn clue what to do with VR and AR and all that other trash are. They had nothing to do. All right? Microsoft had no clue. They're showing Minecraft, poking around Minecraft with some expensive camera. Meanwhile, the HoloLens has the size view of a credit card. But they're showing this huge, massive VR, AR world. No, dude. Show what's on there. Size of a credit card. Microsoft had no... And Microsoft wasn't even doing games with this stuff. So you can't say Microsoft was smart. Microsoft didn't even get VR and AR off the ground. All right? They had Conker running around on HoloLens for some stupid reason. You'll jump around your room. They had no clue what to do with this stuff. It was all pie in the sky. You're going to make 3D models and our size of a credit card view. That's why they had to do HoloLens 2, because the viewing angle of HoloLens 1 was looking like you were looking through an asshole. That's the size of the view, was looking through an asshole. I saw HoloLens 1. All right? It was if you opened up and you looked inside somebody's ass, because that's what it was. It was the size of an ass. It was a friggin' credit. It was a small little hole that you're seeing this AR world. And then they lost the government contract on top of it. Microsoft fell flat on its face because they didn't know what to do with it. Same thing with Kinect. They didn't know what to do with it. They're like, oh, we got some technology. We bought it. What do we do? Anybody. Phil, give us an idea. Somebody, tell us something. Great idea. Book it. That's a great idea. Record that. That's a great idea right there. Yes, we'll do that. So let's see. We go into the whole mixed reality, Microsoft's headsets. We get all the HoloLens hubbub. But here we go. Let's talk about Microsoft's failures and say, yeah, PSVR2 is dead. Today's report from the IDC projects that Sony's wait a second. Wait. Projects that Sony's VR headsets are projected to sell 275 units. Reported sales figures in the title, ladies and gentlemen. Reported sales figures. And now when we see projects. Okay. Now we're projecting, but it's reported sales. By who? Sony? No. Sony reported sales? No. We're projecting. Oh, okay. We're projecting. I gotcha. Oh, man, you guys are slicksters over there at Windows Phone. Oops, not Windows Phone Central, because, right, they made a great decision with phones, right? Windows Phone Central. Remember, you used to be phones. The phone. But you happened to drop the phone like Microsoft dropped the phone. Now you're supposedly some Windows dudes. You're Windows Phone leftovers. That's what you are over there. Windows Phone Central. That's what I'm going to call you, Windows Phone Central. So you're reminded about the failure that the company did. They made you create a website about a phone that they dropped, and 3 years later, and then your website was like, oops, what do we do now? We are called Windows Phone Central. You know what? We'll just be Windows Central. Woohoo! 2. Oh, okay. Good job. No, you should be called Windows Phone Central because I want to see how relevant you would be right now. You would be a clown site, actually. But let's talk about this reporting here. Bloomberg reported some other dude saying, I predict this. Just to get it there. For comparison's sake, Xbox doomed. It's doomed. Ladies and gentlemen, it's official. I said this on Saltier's podcast. Right? Everything that Microsoft has done now, it's a doom. It was doomed. But heaven forbid, during Connect, you would say this is failed. They will be like, wait, it's outsold the Move. It was the fastest selling accessory for anything. The Connect was the fastest selling accessory, selling millions upon millions. But it's doomed. Now it's doomed. Just like Halo 5's trash. But you can't say, no, Halo Infinite's trash. And guess what? When the next Halo comes out, they will admit that Halo Infinite was trash. I agree, Rocky Gaming. I agree. But that's for another story. So Xbox doomed the motion control, sold 8 million units in the first 2 months. All right. Kinect sold 8 million. It was a $100 accessory. $100 accessory camera. It was a $100 camera for your Xbox. So we're comparing a $100 camera to a whole VR unit, a whole VR system. We're comparing a $100 accessory. You know what? I want to talk about accessories, and we're going to talk about accessories and failure rates. Let's talk about how well the memory cards are selling at $400 goddamn dollars for a gigabyte, 2 gigabytes. Tell me, $400 memory cards, the price of the goddamn console. Tell me how much that Xbox memory card accessory is selling for success. But we're not talking about financial crises there, right? All these games that you have on Game Pass, but you can't download them all because you need more memory. Well, we got a problem to solve. Let's solve it. $400 for a 2 gigabyte. Oh, that too much? We'll proudly sell you a $200 one for $1,000 for 1 gigabyte. Oh, really? What happened to the starving families now? No. We don't talk about those prices, Sales Central. Let's not talk about that accessory. And let's compare now the $100 Kinect to a $550 VR system. Let's compare the two. Even admits it's a clunky comparison, but we'll still do it though anyway. PSVR2 retails on Mammoth. Yeah, exactly. I basically solved your problem. But these sacrifices necessary. Here we go. And now we're doing it again. Unlike the fully wireless, we're comparing this to a phone strapped onto your head with the Meta Quest 2. We're comparing this to a phone strapped on the head. Meta Quest 2. It also requires a cable and a $480 PS5 to power it. Here we go. Let's add the console cost with the VR. And now, here we go. And the problem, it seems that nobody wants it. Nobody wants anything Sony. They sold over 500,000 PlayStation 5s in the month of February, beating the month in February of the PS2. So $500 console seems to be flying off the shelves. So $500 doesn't seem to be a problem if you look at the PlayStation 5 sales. But you know what? We're not going to talk about sales, right? We don't talk about those sales, right? Okay. Now we're going to compare it to the Meta. Mobile unit strapped to your head. I'm not dealing with this. Let's look. I already showed you guys this already. This is just to put preference here, because this is what they do now. They turn saints and sinners. Watch this. Here we go. Just remember now, as we look into this, here we go. We're comparing these two VR units. Here's Saints and Sinners on the Meta Quest that is so much cheaper. Let's get it in full view, everybody. Let's get these nice visuals here. Let's go. The Meta Quest is defined. It's cheaper than the PlayStation VR. So we're going to compare apples to apples. That's what we're doing right now. That's what we're doing right now. Here's your PSVR2, and here's your Meta Quest. Okay. All right. Okay. Now we're comparing apples to apples, right? So you're going to tell me that that's the cheaper one is fine. It's fine. You're in VR. These things are up front and personal in your face. This car is in your face, 3D, right in your face. Tell me, walking through this world in VR, how much better that would be than this barren-ass world. Exactly, RP Gaming. You get exactly what you pay for. But they're going to compare this like VR has cheaper options. Sony's just too expensive. All of a sudden, everybody on Xbox is dollar bill Phil watches. PlayStation, the VR is so expensive. You could just get this and you'll be happy. That shows you a person that doesn't even strap on a goddamn VR headset to their face. That shows you the ignorance of the reporting when somebody compares the Meta Quest 2 to PlayStation VR 2. It shows that they haven't strapped on. Maybe they did put a strap on, but they never strapped on a goddamn thing to their face. Because they know damn well that is not the same world that they're going into. You cannot compare the two. One's a phone strapped to your face. The other one is a high fidelity VR, as I believe was Phil Spencer's quote, high fidelity. But I can move freely in this world. You want to? You want to see that car up close? You want to look? You want to zoom in on that street in VR? You want to walk around freely without a Chains of Olympus controller? Go ahead. You want to walk around this street and look down at that garbage pail and zoom in and walk freely without a cable? Look at that. Look at this world. I can't wait to explore this world. Or you want to get a Chains of Olympus and walk around this world. You're in VR. That's why. Cut it out with this Quest and VR2 talking about prices. That's basically saying you could get a hamburger at Gordon Ramsay, but you could just get a hamburger at Burger King. It's the same thing. It's a burger. Why would you pay $20 or $30 for a Gordon Ramsay burger when you could get a hamburger, a quarter pounder for $5? And McDonald's, it's the same thing. It's a burger. That shows the ignorance of the people making this comparison. It shows the ignorance of it. It shows that they never even put a strap-on for their life for them. They never went in that thing. Oh, I get sick in VR. Well, then know what? Don't write VR articles then. Well, there's your two. Now, let's proceed to compare the price difference with the Chain of Olympus and the huge price of the PlayStation VR 2. Oh my God, people are hungry in the streets. Let's. And let's throw in, why don't we throw in Activision Blizzard? You want to know what? Let's hear the justification why VR sucks. I love to hear this. On PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo, because we got to bring them all together, you can spend hours upon hours in a single game. VR, by comparison, for most people, is only comfortable in short bursts. All right, go check out my streams. I've been over an hour in VR. Okay. Motion sickness is prevalent. Okay. People are hacking up, they're throwing up every single time they put a VR. Okay, we'll keep that. This is something I never use VR, I know. It's not something something any of the major platform holders have been easily be able to solve. Even without motion sickness, fatigue, weariness from strapping what amounts to a small computer to your face, and VR is a big physical commitment, which obviously creates barriers to entry. This is before we discuss the price, the room space, and other barriers. You know what? I love when anything is fun, it's a barrier. Know who uses that word? Phil uses it. Oh, the price of a game is a barrier for entry. That's right. Everything should be free, right? No barriers. Hell, my house should be free. That mortgage is a barrier to me owning a house. These fools talking about barriers. But here we go. Expert sales analysis from Windows Central. We need to get that expert sales analysis right here. We need this. Because I need to know where we're getting our research here. So let's go into this. Because this is pissing me off. Because this is somebody that doesn't care about VR and is just trying to use this as a console piece to try to make it look like Xbox is winning in something. Meanwhile, they're flat on their ass. Nobody's going to question the 17% minus of a hardware sales. We're going to talk sales of PlayStation from some speculated Bloomberg goddamn an analyst. That's where we're getting this, and we're going to write a hot piece, a hot take. Okay. Because I need to know, because when we come here, and it just ticks me off, because it's like, you don't know anything about VR. You don't play games, dude. Listen to your show. You don't play games. You play World of Warcraft. Yay. Oh, yeah. Where is it? Let's talk. I need to see something. Where is it? Here it is. Is this it? Yeah. Let's see. Like what I said, what makes console gaming so lucrative as a business model is that software sell-through. Dude, the software sell-through. Software sell-through, okay? But the Activision Blizzard has put Xbox with a big highlight on how lucrative a single franchise can be on console. We're going to talk about, okay, so now we're giving credit to Modern Warfare. Microsoft didn't even own them yet. But let's take this sentence. What makes console gaming so lucrative business is the software sell-through. So coming from Windows Central sales, this should be a huge concern since Microsoft doesn't have one goddamn game in a friggin' sell-through and this has been going on for friggin' years. Software sell-through. Let's see. Hi-Fi Rush, where are you? Game of the Year contender, where are you? Hi-Fi Rush. Halo on you? Halo? How dare you ask about Halo? Halo came out so long ago. Well, so did Elden Ring. And so did God of War. So did Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart 8 came out before Halo. So what's your excuse that there's no Microsoft game on the sell-through console? That's the point of a lucrative console business. The console that you report on has failed this console sell-through. Right, Matty Beast? 17%. The Xbox has come down in NPDs for the last 2 years. They have been third. Their global sales are like a half of what's going on, but there's no warning signs. Everything's good. But if we're talking about lucrative, the console business is based on software sell-through, then how is the console that owns this website not showing any lucrative business at all? Wouldn't that be like a number one article going, guys, we're Windows Central. Windows makes Xbox. Xbox is not doing well as a console because they don't have games in the top 20. And considering that the console gaming is so lucrative as a business model because of software sell-through. That should be article number 1. Considering the right? Hi-Fi Rush. Where's the article? Hi-Fi Rush fails to make NPD charts. Where's that article, anybody? It was your game of the year 2 weeks into the year. Hi-Fi Rush wasn't on January's NPDs because it only had a couple of weeks. And it was a stealth drop. Well, here's February. What's your excuse now? Here's February. Goddamn this game. The Requiem Final Ball Line. Who the hell is that? Hi-Fi Rush. Sonic Frontiers. Last of Us Part 2. Excuse me? Last of Us Part 2 went from 41 to 18. And Hi-Fi Rush can't beat out a game that's like 3 years old? Hi-Fi Rush, where are you? You had the whole month of February, game of the year, available to billions of people. 30 million at least. But Game Pass makes you buy games. Then 30 million people should have bought it. How dare? It's a pass-through. Like, if you're going to make a statement that the console business is based on software sell-through, Xbox has been failing then, according to your definition. Yes, The Last of Us 1 as well. But that's not fair. How dare you bring up Hi-Fi Rush in this conversation? That is irrelevant. Because we're talking about sales, right? We're talking about sales, right? Okay. We're talking about sales, everybody. That's not fair. That's only a $30 game. The hell's wrong with you? Pony? Oh, a pony. Really? Okay. Well, wait a second. I have something here. I got something. Where is it? Where? Because I need to know why Hi-Fi Rush. Don't beat up on Hi-Fi Rush. It was just a little indie game. What do you mean? It was stealth dropped. You know what? It shouldn't be on NPDs. It was the game of the year. Yeah, it was everybody's game of the year 2 weeks in. They're like, game of the year 2 weeks in. Well, let's see. Let's see how much of the game of the year it was. Because everybody's like, yo, Hi-Fi Rush, dude, you can't bring that up. That makes no sense. You can't bring Hi-Fi Rush up. Well, let me see, because I recall, where is it? I'm trying to find it. I think we need thinking music. We need thinking music. We need to cool our tongues. We need thinking music.
Oh, and Second Us 2. New games are coming fast. 12 minutes and 80s. And they're all on Game Pass. Somerville, like a Requiem. What to play first and what to play last. Smash 2, Ground, Shroom, and Doom. 'Cause they're all on Game Pass. Among Us, the Ascent, and more.
We need some thinking music there. We need some thinking music. But if you recall, Hi-Fi Rush was dominating the Steam charts, and it caused a ruckus in people saying that it was beating Forspoken. Yes, Hi-Fi Rush sold more in the first week than Forspoken. It was outselling Forspoken. And where the hell is it? I had it on my thing. Let's see. Oh yeah, I got it. I gotta show you this thing because I where the hell was it? Oh my god! I can't believe I didn't save it. Yep, there. Oh no, where's mine? Oh my god! I can't believe I don't have it. Well, you know what? Simple thing. Hi-Fi Rush beats Forspoken. Because why would you, right? Where is it? Oh my God. Here it is. There it is. A simple search. Boom. Hi-Fi Rush beats Forspoken to Steam top sellers. Hi-Fi Rush beats Forspoken in Steam rankings. Hi-Fi Rush outperforms Forspoken in revenue. Despite its relatively high price point of $70, Forspoken failed to make the top sellers list, being outperformed by newer release title Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush rocks. Hi-Fi Rush beats Forspoken in Steam sales. Hi-Fi Rush reportedly outperformed Forspoken in its debut. Right? Well, wow. 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 Where's Hi-Fi Rush? And then we go look. Wait, oh no, this is just February. Wait, let's go look at the whole year, Piscatella. Where is it? Where's the whole year? Because Forspoken is in the whole year. I got to find those now. That was just February, right? Because Forspoken didn't launch in February. But wait, where is the top games of 2023 sales NPD? Is that it? No, that's February. Oh, no, shit. Damn, it was. It's right there. Damn, I should have this one ready to go. Here you go. So that was just February. But now, remember all those Hi-Fi Rush beating Forspoken? Well, top games for 2023. Forspoken. Ranked number 10. Right there. Hello? Right there you go. What sidebar? I didn't know what sidebar. But look. Here's Forspoken. All that Hi-Fi Rush outperforming Forspoken. What the hell's this? Well, anyway. All that stuff. Did I lose all my stuff? Hold on. I not lose all my articles. There it is. So, we can't talk about Hi-Fi Rush. But anyway, then if you think this article doesn't go any crazier, now look at this. Are we going to do this right now? Are we doing this right now?
Hold on.
Okay.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh, no.
Holy Spirit,
no.
activate. Holy Spirit, activate. Activate. Activate.
Are we doing this right now? When I saw this in this article, I was like, are we doing this? So not only we're talking about console sales through software is the key for consoles, and meanwhile the console that is favored on Windows Central hasn't done any of that. Hi-Fi Rush nowhere to be found. Beats Forspoken hands down, but Forspoken's on the top selling list. Hi-Fi Rush is not there. Miles Morales is there. Games from 2 years ago on the charts in February. Hi-Fi Rush nowhere to be found. We don't talk about that. As an exclusive game. Okay. Now, we scroll down a little bit, and now we're telling the choice between VR and cloud should be obvious. Oh, we are not. After my G Cloud interview, nobody was at that booth. All right? Nobody was at that booth, and I can tell you also at PAX East, there wasn't Series X's or S's on demo for anything. Nobody's making games for it. There was PlayStation 5s. There was a goddamn G Cloud from Logitech. But they were doing VR2. They were doing Meta. They were doing Steam Decks, PlayStation 5s. There were PCs. No Series X's, no Series S's at all on the show floor. packs. I didn't see any of them. But G Cloud. Cloud is the future. It's not VR. It's cloud. We are in the zenith of another major shift right now. Blockchain, NFTs. Massive Azure cloud. Xbox has found its footing in Microsoft Business. Cloud services like PlayFav and GameStack. Microsoft has invested heaps of money in xCloud gaming. I love all just them. So Sony investing money in PSVR2 is a failure, but Microsoft investing all the money into xCloud is a proof of success. I'm just trying to get that straight. Grinders, hit that like button. Is that what you understand as well? Is that what you understand as well? So Sony investing in VR and bringing you over 30 games at launch is a fail. But Microsoft's just spending money to buy Activision and Bethesda and just throwing money at xCloud. That's successful, though, right? Okay. I just want to make sure, because Microsoft's spending money in things that failed, like Mixer and all that other stuff. Those are still successes. But Sony actually giving us games and VR new experiences, that's a failure. Okay. All right. I want to make sure we're on the same page there with that one. Phil Spencer criticized for previously promising high-fidelity VR, high-quality VR. See, that's a wrong quote. It wasn't high-quality VR. See, it was high-fidelity VR, actually, he said, quote, on stage. It never materialized. But he made the right bet. He made the right bet. 4 weeks into PSVR2, Phil Spencer made the right bet. Why not? Ultimately, Xbox was faced with a choice. If they wanted to do VR justice, it will be need to invest at the levels PlayStation and delivering high quality. It's a bet that doesn't seem to be paying off for Sony. Oh my God. So far, that bet thus far doesn't seem to be paying off. Have you even tried PlayStation VR? Because I need to know your experience in it, because you're just going by some rumored analyst who predicts 270 sales by the end of March. He expects, because of people fighting for their lives. So far, it's not paying off. Oh, okay. I just want to make sure. Instead, Microsoft opted to target the fastest growing gaming market, mobile. Told you, it's Windows Phone Central. Maybe they could bring Windows Phone back. Maybe they could bring Windows Phone Central back if Microsoft goes full mobile. Then there will be full Windows Phone Central.
I'm trying to use
that must be so exciting that we have people reading about consoles, coming to try to get console stuff, and people hyping up focus on mobile. Okay. Because we're going to forget that Microsoft actually made Gears Pop mobile game that they shut down in less than a year. That's their plan for mobile. They shut it down. All your money invested went to shit. Okay, just make sure that Microsoft made a game and shut it down in less than a year, Gears Pop. And then they also made Forza Streets, another mobile game. It was also part of their ARM Windows. We're going to do Windows on ARM because we need to compete with Google and Chromebooks. Yeah, good job. That failed too. Windows Store with ARM. And UWP went out the window too with everything else. Okay. Here we are, ass grabbing. We're decades away from mixed reality. All right, we're talking mixed reality. Satya was telling you to sit down at your desk, stare at a blank wall, and do Excel in a virtual environment. As a gamer, what the hell is that? Who the hell is going to say, you know what? Screw these monitors. I'm just going to sit here and do Excel through a translucent Excel page so it shows up on my wall. That's what Microsoft was trying to do with AR. Oh, I could just be as productive because I could have 6 screens translucently on my wall. Okay. All the reports suggest that PSVR2 is the best, because you never used it, suggest that VR2 is probably the best VR headset experience you can get right now. It's just so damn expensive that few people would likely to get the opportunity to try it. I can't help but feel that this is going to end up being a huge distraction for the firm, whose talented game developers could be working on regular games that will sell more than a few thousand units. Am I reading this? Are you seeing this? He's giving advice to Sony. Sony, didn't I just say they're able to do? We got Horizon DLC coming, Spider-Man. We just got God of War and all these games, and they were able to do a quality VR. But he's worried that it's a distraction for Sony. Am I reading this right? We're giving Sony advice that don't do VR, work on high quality games. Really? Because if we're going to talk about distractions, I got 3 letters for you. ABK. Distractions. Since Microsoft announced that they were going to buy ABK, they haven't released shit and balls in the last year. You want to talk about distractions? All it is about ABK and buying publishers. And since then, Microsoft hasn't released a game that's worth a damn. Distractions. You got to look. You got to look at your own unit. Sony's not distracted by VR. They're able to drop quality games. I don't know how they do it, but Sony's able to drop high quality games for their platform, drop games for VR, mess up games on PC. They got to fix that shit. But you want to talk about distractions? Microsoft's whole goddamn gaming division is a distraction. They haven't released shit and shown anything in years. And when it comes out, it's, I'm sorry, we heard you, executives leaving, making new studios. What are we doing here? It's a distraction? You want Sony to drop VR right now because some dude says it thinks it's going to be 270,000 at the end of March? It's over? Okay. Because it failed for Xbox, it should fail for everybody. That's the mentality. Okay. Xbox didn't even get their foot off the ground with this thing. They didn't even make a goddamn VR game. Hell, they didn't even make goddamn good Kinect games. That's why they shut that thing down. Distraction. Since Microsoft announced they got their, we're going to buy ABK, they haven't made anything. Your whole last year was nothing because of this ABK deal. Well, if that's the excuse. Then, where was the part where he says that they should just partner? Where's that? Because that's what I want to end on. There was something where was this thing? He says there's maybe a future where it's convenient, so here's the upend. But I doubt the necessary breakthroughs of tech will come from today's player space. Whether it's wearable grade batteries or power-efficient lightweight computing paradigms, I suggest that we still a few decades away from anyone being able to be mainstream and viable in VR. But cloud is the investment, though. We just skipped over 5G. Was supposed to bring cloud to us. We're saying that it's going to be decades for VR. Decades. I'm ripping off zombies' heads and doing virtual climbing right now today in high quality 110 vision with motion tracking, full hand movement, finger tracking, vibration headsets, adaptive controllers, immersed with sound now. Today. Right now. Tell me that cloud gives you that same experience. Please, tell me that. Right now, I'm experiencing VR in its best form. It's decades away for it to be mainstream? And what's cloud then? That's happening tomorrow? Cloud. Decades. But cloud is here. That's the bet. Microsoft spending on cloud. That's the future. Cloud's the future? But I'm doing this VR. Here it is, right here. It's a distraction. I feel that their industry-leading hardware teams could have built a successor to the Vita instead, which doubtless would sold more.
Hold on.
Okay.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh, no.
Holy
Oh, no.
Spirit,
Oh, no.
activate. Holy Spirit, activate. Activate. Activate.
Triggered by somebody who never even did VR, has no right to even talk about the goddamn technology, and is writing this Phil Spencer fluffer piece on goddamn why Microsoft is doing a good job. And then telling Sony advice that this is a distraction. You should have made a PS Vita instead, which would doubtlessly have sold more than 270,000 units. No, we're back to being sold again. The dude's prediction has turned into now officially sold numbers by the end of the article. Grinders, this is. Are you seeing the same thing that I'm seeing? Are you seeing the same thing?
You just made the list.
I agree. I think we need a break. We need a break because I'm gonna pop a vein right now. We need a break. We need something. We need an interlude. Shout out to Toolman. He says maybe the flute will help us understand this article better. You know, I know what. God damn it. I think we need one. We need a flute. We need some clarity. I need a clarity. We need some flute in here. God damn, that flute never sounds any better. Oh, man. You want to hear that? Holy crap. We need everybody wants to, and then, yeah, okay. I don't know, Toolman. Thank you again for being a member, Toolman. VIP, you want to be a VIP member, hit that grinds button, that join button right there. But we're going to talk to G Cloud. He said the cloud was the choice, right? We're going to turn this up to G Cloud, right? So let's start off G Cloud with the exclusive Grindhouse on the floor interview with our G Cloud right now. Exclusively in the Grindhouse. Paxies.
All right, guys. See, you know, when you come to the gaming Grindhouse, I tell you the God honest truth of a lot of things. I'm going to do a 180 here, try to be subtle, all right? But this guy's standing here with our wonderful G Cloud. You know, the thing that Phil brought over to our good friend Kojima? Let's look at the line for the G Cloud device. You ready, Grinders? I'm going to be a little subtle here.
Just a little subtle.
Here's the line for G Cloud. How you doing, man? That's the G Cloud? It's all. How's it working, this thing?
So this is the trailer. In the trailer, we just have like more, a better internet connection, like our own.
Oh, got you. You got your own. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so like we can like show off the capabilities.
Yeah, because that thing's all the cloud.
It's really nice, yeah.
Gotcha. Where's the line?
There is no line. You can just walk anywhere. If you want, you can even demo the like.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah. So if you want.
Oh, okay.
It runs on Android operating system, so you can get like Android apps, Google Chrome, YouTube, Netflix. Android's very customizable, so
yeah.
you can do a lot with it. But for the most part, it's for streaming, like stuff from Xbox Game Pass's new Xbox Cloud gaming, or Steam Link and NVIDIA GeForce. It's really nice. It's
that's cool.
Like a Steam Deck Switch competitor.
Gotcha. Sounds good. Thank you very much for that.
The exclusive Grindhouse interview of G Cloud. No line, they said. No line. Well, You know what? You know what? I was curious about, since it was referenced in the article, I thought I would say, hey, let me look at this G Cloud, because you know what? Since Windows Central is all about the sales, why don't I help them out a little bit? Don't you think, Grinders? I think I should help them out a little bit, since they're all about sales now, you know? We're not going to talk about Xbox coming in third for a goddamn 2 years and minus 17% in hardware year over year, the third year into a brand new console generation with 2 consoles. 2 consoles, I tell you. Not one, but 2 consoles. 2 consoles. The most powerful console in the world and the most accessible console in the world. But we will not talk about that at all. We will not talk about such, since we talk about sales all the time. We don't bring that up whatsoever at all. Let's not do it. Please don't do it. We don't talk about it here. It's -7. We're talking about sales of hardware. Let's talk about sales. I'm going to help you out a little bit. I'm gonna grind those gears just a little bit. I'm gonna help out our good sales analyst out there that said that VR is in trouble. Let's do a little analyst of G Cloud, should we? Because nobody's writing anything about this stuff here. Where is it? I had I had so many things clicked up over here. -17%, right? Yeah, don't tell them about the PlayStation selling over 500,000 units in a goddamn month. Right? There it is. The biggest it ever sold. So that means it sold over 533,000 because that was the record for February. But we're talking about sales. So you know what? Why not? Why not? Let's talk about sales. Let's. Since you brought up G Cloud as the right decision, and I had my exclusive interview, I was curious. I was like, you know what? Why don't I go look at some G Cloud stuff? Right? Why not? Why not? Let's go to the Logitech Financials, everybody. Let's go to Logitech's quarter financials of when they announced and launched the G Cloud. Let's see the question here. In terms of product launch, this is their after financials. I figured let's find out how G Cloud's doing because that seems to be the right choice. Firstly, in terms of product launches, can you provide some detail on how they performed? And in particular, I'm interested in how Logitech G Cloud has performed. I wonder if it met your expectations or not. I'll leave it as that. Well, let's see. Okay, yes, we announced 20 new products that we're launching in Q3 and some time in the next 6 to 4 months. I would also say overall, our launches were pretty well on track. Okay, so they're on track, everybody. We're good. We're good. G Cloud's doing well. Let's see, they're on track. But listen how it's on track. The G Cloud particular is a very narrow launch. So we launched it already in the US. We are so far so good. We are so far so good. We are now expanding into Europe and Japan. So I would say so far it's on track. It's a new, and here we go. Here comes the damage control. It's a new category for us. We're always very conservative on new categories, George, because we don't want to get over the tips of our skis, as we like to say here. But so far, so good. Are you sold on one? G Cloud? But wait, there's more. So let's go see how Logitech is doing. You know, I'm just helping out Windows Central with the sales data since cloud is the future and Sony should just give up on VR and make great games because it's a distraction for them because they have sold 270 units per some random dude taking a shit yelling out of the bathroom stall. I have to write an article about it, but I'm just helping you out with sales because you think Windows Central, since they're so, they should be reporting Logitech sales numbers, don't you think? G Cloud, hey, Phil gave it to Kojima as a gift. They're in bed with them. Hey, shouldn't G Cloud sales be an article on Windows Central since they are the A1 sales guru and 17% over year? I'm just helping them out. Well, let's see. Let's see how Logitech is doing. Net sales in the month, in the quarter that they released the G Cloud, decreased 17%. That seems to be the hot number in game failure rates. 17% decreased sales year over year. In gaming, their gaming decreased for 10% in quarter three. Growth in our simulation products was essentially flat and more offset by declines in PC and console gaming. Declines in PC and console gaming. Okay. Sony had the biggest December it ever had in console sales. Who's declined in console sales? I need to know. What declines in console sales? I need to know. Where's this decline in console sales? Sony confirmed today that December was the biggest month ever for console sales of the PS5, bringing the total more than 30 million units sold worldwide. Declines in PC and console sales. I only know of a couple of declines. It wasn't a PlayStation, I'll tell you that. But you know what? Where is G Cloud in all this? I'm expecting it's under here in bootleg, tablets, and other accessories. Which that one said, sales in our tablet and other accessories category declined 15% in quarter three. However, we gained market share in tablet keyboards in the quarter. Our retail tablet sales for the quarter were flat, and we grew shares. So, you know what? Since cloud is the future and G Cloud is a part of Logitech, let's see what Logitech's forecast is for how well they're going to do for the remaining part of moving forward for this year. Logitech, let's see. Logitech, can you give us some update on this? Where is that? Everything's down. Okay, we got that. So how you get it? But now that G Cloud is out there, was a soft launch, remember? He said it was a very narrow launch in the US, but they're expanding it to Europe. I expect some big growth, right? It's a new product, and cloud, according to Windows Central, is the right choice, right? And VR is a few decades off, apparently. VR is a few decades off, but cloud, it's here and now, right? So Logitech, you should be beating ass with that Logitech G Cloud, right? Let's hear what your forecast is. Where is it? I was very I had a little chuckle when I read their forecast. Where is it? Oh, where is it? Here it is. And then tell me if I'm reading this wrong, Grinders, for Logitech's thing. I need to know because I'm using my two sources, my eyeballs, left one and right one. Left one being a little sus right now. Let's see. Fiscal year outlook of 2023. Their fiscal year outlook, they includes expectations for sales growth in consistent currency to be in between -15 and -13. Excuse me? Wait, growth to, are we growing to -15 and -13%? So we're in the negatives. We're really in the negatives. But we're going to be better negatives. So we're really in the negative, but we plan to be better negatives. We'll be better bad. I had a chuckle. So G Cloud ain't gonna do shit going to Europe. And they said it's okay. It's doing. What did he say? I quote. What did he say? So far, so good, I would say. So far, so good. So, they're expanding to Europe and Japan with G Cloud. The future. Cloud gaming. Cloud gaming. The G Cloud is G done. So they anticipate to be better, worse. They're going to be, we're really negative. We'll be negative 15 to negative 13%, around there, but we'll still be negative. God damn it. God damn it. But that's the future. That's here and now. VR, decades out from cloud gaming. But G Cloud is showing the huge adoption rate. They even have it on sale back to its pre-launch price of $22,299. $300 for a goddamn Android phone with strap-on controllers. $300. But that's not too expensive. No way. $400 memory cards? Sure, why not? Phil says it's okay. But $500 PSVR unit that brings brand new experiences to your platform? Boo! 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 Boo!
Sign me please, I will bend over and touch. My knees tell me it's better when we all play and make exclusive games and lie to my face. Thank you, Phil.
Yeah. Hell yeah, you're better off a Steam Deck. Steam Deck is the shit. That's the best thing to buy right now. If you want a mobile unit, you will go buy a Steam Deck. That's what you need right there. But there's plenty more. But if they made a Vita, they'll sell more. Listen, let's talk about it. The VR thing. Sony will probably announce numbers when it sells. We already said where this thing is sold. They want to say it's dead and Microsoft won. I would say the biggest, that's a distraction for Sony. No, it's not a distraction. Microsoft is the one that's getting distracted with all this other stuff. But I'm just saying, and I'm not here to sell you on VR. I just think it's crazy that people are trying to turn this into an Xbox W again. And all you're going to get are L's. And I say here, the search for W's, all they're going to get are L's because they're looking at the wrong things. It's about Phil. It's about, what did this guy say? You know, look at this sale rate here. But some dude says he thinks it's going to sell this. Where is the concern? Xbox has, listen, Xbox, this is a new generation. This is Phil's console. This is Phil's most powerful console and the most accessible console. Two-console approach. Look at these numbers. 1.7 million as to 500,000? It's more than double. And that is in a goddamn February. It's not going to stop. Final Fantasy coming out. Horizon DLC. Spider-Man to cap it off. And then you got a VR lineup there. It's not stopping. And Starfield is not going to turn Xbox from 500,000 a month to 2 million. It may sell well on Steam, but it's not a console thing. And then you look at Diablo, They don't even put a Diablo controller in there or a Diablo console. It's a console with the game in it. It's just as lame as the God of War one. And you're paying for the game. It's not even a bundled price. Now the God of War one's on sale. But that's not no bundle. Is that going to move it? But this sales is crazy. It's more than triple, right? Yeah, Cloud. In February. And if they sold over 500,000 PS5s and apparently 270,000 PSVR2s, dude, that's a pretty damn good attachment rate. That's almost 2 to 1. If this number's real. 270,000 PlayStation units. Hey, they almost sold as many as consoles they sold. That's a pretty damn good attachment rate. If you want to talk about 1 month. Now, maybe shading off, adding some months in March. And it overestimates Xbox, exactly. But I just was looking at this thing. But, like, you know, we know from PlayStation saying stuff, like, they are selling astronomically right now. And if you're going to write any kind of, like, people are distracted, things need to get done, Microsoft got to get their head out their ass. And see, this is what I mean. In the search for W's, all they get are L's. And it's like, this is what I mean. Like, you got media influences like this. Just, even the most hardcore Sony fans will agree Sean was much better faced than Jim. He stood side by side with the competition. Jim notably has been absent in all those events where he has to share the stage with Phil. He's a business guy, not a gamer. And in fact, a painfully evident. Long-term, someone like that at the helm will negatively affect your gaming business. If Sony doesn't course correct soon, I think they'll find themselves in a real bad spot with gamers by the end of the generation. Because Phil is hoarded around like Mickey Mouse at all these events, that makes it Xbox a better place that's better for gamers? This is what I mean. That's why I say they'll always get L's. Like, they're focusing on the wrong stuff. It's about goddamn games. It's about delivery of production and content. It's not about this. And you want to know somebody, Ryan brings up Peter Moore. Listen, Don Matrick, Peter Moore, Robbie Bach, Ed Freeze. Dude, they weren't even doing interviews. Those guys weren't around. You make fun of Jim Ryan going, well, where's Jim Ryan doing the interview in iJustine's basement? Phil Spencer's sitting there with iJustine and a sister doing interviews talking about gaming. I'm like, what is that? Get back in there and work on the quality of Halo. The hell are you sitting in iJustine's basement for? But Jim Ryan, where's Jim Ryan's interview with iJustine? Where Xbox, the Ocho is interviewing Phil because he's in town. Where's PlayStation's interview with Herman Holtz as he gets off his yacht? Like goddamn TMZ. The PlayStation executives are nowhere to be found. They only come out. They're winning. Shuei won an award. They weren't interviewing him in iJustine's basement. But you know what's funny is before Phil, Don Matrick wasn't doing interviews. Don Matrick wasn't on the Ocho, Xbox, the Ocho. Xbox on. Oh, here comes an interview with Xbox on. Peter Moore. No. Those executives were doing their goddamn job. They were working on bringing content to the platform. They weren't going out doing interviews with the Venezuelan government. The New York Times interviewed Phil on a beach. Where was Jim Ryan and Herman Holtz coming up on the yacht? But Phil gets the interview with the New York Times on the goddamn beach where he's talking out his ass, saying about how Game Pass is done.
Let's talk about Game Pass.
It's Phil on the beach right now.
A big bet for Microsoft. How many?
This is better for gaming?
Do we have now, and it does seem like a really good deal for the consumer. But what about the Microsoft investor? How is this a moneymaker for Microsoft?
Our last public number was 25 million subscribers that we've talked about.
We get an update?
Not right here, but
I sat down and did the interview, but I'm not going to tell you anything more.
Or Game Pass subscription, not expecting everybody's following the video game market, is available on gaming consoles and on personal computers.
What is the purpose of this?
In both places. We're seeing incredible growth on PC. I think Satya Nadella, in our earnings yesterday, the CEO of Microsoft talked about, I think, 130, 140% year-over-year growth on PC, which is really where we're focused. On console, I've seen growth slow down on Game Pass, mainly because at some point you've just reached everybody on console who wants to subscribe. And we don't see subscription, unlike some other forms of media that have really moved almost solely to a subscription business. Today, Game Pass as an overall part of our content and service revenue is probably 15%. I don't think it gets bigger than that. I think
There's Phil on the beach interviewing the New York Times. That's better for gaming? He's such a cool guy. Microsoft executives weren't even doing that. Robbie Bach wasn't interviewing and going around like goddamn Mickey Mouse. Woo, I'm doing interviews. Woo. Nobody. Jim Ryan, when he comes out, he goes like this.
Enough from me. We're going to have the games do our talking.
Exactly. As it should be. Enough of you. I don't care about you Gordon Ramsay looking ass. I don't care about you. I care about the stuff that you're bringing to us. I don't care about if you play a game. I think you're a fool for wearing the PlayStation Pulse headset on an interview. I think it's hilarious. But
enough from me. We're going to have the games do our talking.
Yes. But Microsoft don't have the games. They got Phil all over the place. iJustine's Basement, New York Times, Venezuelan governments, Xbox the Ocho, Xbox on, Phil, do an interview from your office. What do you have on your shelf? Is that a dildo? You know, all this stuff. I don't care. It's not about that. But when you make it about everything else, PSVR2, Sony's distracted, that's a W for Xbox, cloud gaming, well, you care so much about cloud gaming. I showed you about G Cloud. Tell me more. Console sales through. It's about sales assault. I just showed you. Xbox is nowhere to be found with their games on sales charts. The numbers don't show it at all. And now Phil's just a great guy. Jim has to get out. Let Jim go out. You know, Sean Layden left and Jim Ryan came in, and guess what? Everybody thought that PlayStation was going to lose, and so Microsoft was going to be the winner this generation. Remember that? Remember Jim Ryan came in, and they're like, oh, new regime at PlayStation. Microsoft's going to win. The incumbent always loses. They're always overconfident. The incumbent of the next generation is always overconfident. And that happened to Xbox. They came in with too much confidence with the Xbox One and lost it to Sony. And the generation before that, Sony came in overconfident with the PS3, and Microsoft ate their lunch. So now Xbox is due. The PlayStation sold so much with the 4, and with the PS5, they're going to be overconfident, and Microsoft's going to be in there for the gamers, and they're going to beat PlayStation definitely in sales. That was the storyline going into this generation. Microsoft has the most powerful console. Sony can't compete with the console. They got 10 teraflops. It runs hot. It's fighting gravity. It's fighting liquid metal. It's not going to run. It doesn't have DNA baked on a chip. And they're overconfident. Oh, $70 games. See, they're overconfident. Now Microsoft is going to be for the gamer and win back the generation. Okay. That was the storyline going into the generation. And now when we see the facts and the numbers, and we see Sony selling, nobody's writing an article about that. Right? Nobody's writing anything about that. What happened? What happened? What are we doing here? What happened? What happened to the incumbent always loses? What happened to Sony too confident? What happened to Microsoft's gonna fight back? What happened? Where are all those dudes now? What happened? Where is that? Where is it? I heard it all. Sony was afraid of the 12 teraflops. What happened? Where are the articles concerned about nobody wants an Xbox? Xbox needs a price drop. Shit, they already did a price drop, and it still didn't help them. They had that Series S at Christmas time for $200 for only a penny. Only a penny. They were giving that thing away at Verizon. They already did their price drop. Where's their quote? Going, shit, nobody wants this thing. What are we doing here? Where are those articles? Oh, but wait a second. Oh, I know what happened. The Xbox is, oh, I see. They're trying to use the inventory excuse. Oh, I see now. The Xbox Series X is so hard to find, they said. That's the problem. Oh, that's why it's not selling. It's so hard to find the Series X. It's so hard. The price hike. Oh, shit, Don John. Yeah, the price hike. It's so hard to find the Series X. That's what they said. They said it was so hard to find the Series X, and that's why it's not selling. They're trying to use the PlayStation approach. They're giving it away with Cracker Jack boxes. That's right. They're trying to use the PlayStation's approach. Oh, it's because the SKUs, it's hard to find. It's hard. It's so hard to find the Series X. The Series X it's impossible. It's sold out everywhere. You can't find it. Well, first, we're not writing articles about this, right? Xbox hardware down 13%, content 12%, gaming revenue 13%. No, we're not. 3 years into a brand new console generation when it's supposed to be gearing up. No articles about this. Nobody wants an Xbox. Okay, we don't write about that one. But because the Xbox, it's just so hard to find, right? Well, let me see. I need to see where the hell. Did a quick Google search. And take a look at oh my god, the Famitsu sales? Holy crap. Blame Sony. Hashtag blame Sony. Good name here by John Welfare, going like the Xbox X is, and I hear this from our good friends over at Bootleg Studios. Only sold third-party Amazon, sold out at Target. The Series X going out of stock at GameStop, out of Walmart. High product demand. Oh my God, you're right. Everybody wants an Xbox Series X, right? Well, let's go to the Grindhouse. Let's see. Holy crap! I did a search. Pick up today for the Series X Forza bundle. Pick up today at Walmart. Pick up tomorrow at GameStop because they were closed. Let's see what else. Whoa, look at all this. Pick up tomorrow at GameStop. Used. A Series X used. For $459. Pick it up tomorrow. Pick it up today at Walmart for $500. Pick it up the friggin' Forza one 2 years later. That one's still available at Best Buy. Pick it up tomorrow. Target got them in store right now. Go get them while it's hot. Target also has the bundle. You have a choice at Target. And then they even got Booster on sale for $2.99. Pick it up today. They're all over the place. You can even get it used for all those people that need to give food for little Timmy and are fighting for their lives out there. Because, the most important thing is getting a gaming console when you are struggling, according to our analysts. With inflation, well, then don't buy an Xbox then. What happened? This guy must live on a nuclear sub. And here, Andre shows, dude, it's right now. You can go buy it. In the search for W's, all they get are L's.
Game over.
Wait, just wait till E3 there will be a showcase, but I can't wait when all our games need help. Bootleg Studios helping with Perfect Dark. I am still dying. Fuck you, please let us compete. We are like Thor. Please let us compete. Let us compete, please. We are horrible at Microsoft. Let us compete.
Another one.
And grinders, that concludes another What Grinds My Gears on this wrestling evening. But yes, did we get to it now? Curbside at Walmart. But I want to thank everybody for coming through to the Gaming Grindhouse. Again, we're going to be having a show on Monday, but I saw this article. I saw this stuff going around all week, and I just I got to vent on this stuff because it is just, I just don't appreciate people just don't game and don't play this stuff, making judgment calls based off of somebody's analysis, trying to kill something real quick, just like they won't acknowledge the PlayStation subscription services. And you say, Game Pass is the best. Well, why don't you show what the options are? Compare PlayStation Extra, and now compare that to Xbox Game Pass, and now give the offer. Don't just say Xbox Game Pass is the best and forget about everything else, like selective memory. No, show everybody what the options are, because I think if you show the options, maybe somebody might lean more. Wait, they got those Sony games in there. Oh, yeah. Because I would argue that one's a lot cheaper than the other one, and with the dollar bill Phil retiring, we'll see. Let him compete. But the gaming press is a joke. They're clowns. Manioles with the 5 coming in right at the end of the Gaming Grindhouse with the super chat. Thank you, Manioles. He goes, they say it's sold out because they want to cook the numbers again. That's a good point, man. Maybe they're doing that. But yeah, definitely they want to say, hey, it's sold out. Dude, it's not sold out. It's not. It's all over the place. You just do a quick search and it's everywhere. It's not. There's no games for it. And like I said, nobody's making games specifically for the console. Nobody's like, hey, I can't wait to use this Xbox and show the power. Nah, nobody's doing it. Not from what I've seen. Oh, man, Philly. All right. Well, I got to stay in New Jersey, so I know the storm's coming. He had the lightning, so hopefully I don't lose power. But anyway, grinders, keep it locked here to the Gaming Grindhouse. Next week will be birthday celebration week, Gaming Grindhouse birthday. And, so hopefully we'll have a great show for you on Monday. Keep it locked here, the Gaming Grindhouse. I have some more topics to talk about, and there may be something later in the week, but we'll see where it goes from here. But hit that subscribe button if you're new. Join button. We have VIP grinders growing on the list. And also, I want to thank everybody for just coming through the chat and chatting it up there. And hit that like button on the way out and share it. But thank you, everybody, for coming through. And we'll leave you with a wonderful Game Pass song.
You're my #1 customer.
Good night, everybody.
And Psychonauts 2. New games are coming fast. 12 minutes and Hades. And they're all on Game Pass. Some of them are like a Requiem. What to play first?